Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. On today's episode, we have Sandra Wiley, shareholder and president at Boomer Consulting. Sandra is talking about positive talent trends in 2023, including the talent war, employee well-being, DEI, and much more. Take it away, Sandra.
Hi there, this is Sandra Wiley, and I'm here to give you some great news today. Positive talent trends for 2023. I think that there's a lot of good things going on in our profession and in our world. And it all depends on how you want to look at the problem as to whether it's a terrible problem or if it's actually a positive and something that's going well. So let's talk about what's going well. Let's talk about first the talent war. Everybody's been talking about it for many, many years. Everyone's been trying to think about how to combat and how to bring in the right people. I believe that there's a couple of things out there that can really change our mindset, and it can change how we look at this challenge. The first one is, I think you can look at non-traditional candidates. We have been working really hard in this profession to tear our jobs apart and put them back together in a way that doesn't necessarily mean you don't need as many professionals, but you might need professionals doing different things in your firm. In the past, we've all looked at just having people who are doing accounting, CPAs behind their name. I will tell you, I think that there's a real opportunity right now and a real positive that is going on in our profession where we're tearing jobs apart and we're looking for specific people to do parts of the jobs that don't necessarily have to be a CPA. I've heard of people hiring higher level administrative team members, maybe higher level meaning project managers that will really help to do some of the work that our auditors, that our tax people, that our client accounting services are doing now that don't have to have that kind of a degree. Now, they may need a degree still, a business degree, a finance degree, a marketing degree, a human resources degree, but they don't necessarily have to be a CPA. And that can really help us as we are rounding out our team where we're having a little bit more trouble finding CPAs, and we can find people that are a little different for us. So the non-traditional candidates, I think, are a real positive for us this year. I also think another super big positive for us this year is outsourcing. That used to be, first of all, put your hands over your ears and say, we're not ever going to do that. Then we kind of moved to, okay, maybe we have to do that because we can't find enough people. Today we're going, oh, you know what? That's working really well. We're becoming more global. We are really trying to find new ways of using different talent. And that has become a part of our kind of our norm now. I don't think that we're going to talk about outsourcing ever again as if it's a bad word or something we can't say. Today, that's a positive. We know it can work. Now, I will also tell you, remember when I said something about a project manager before, or maybe a communications manager? Remember that when you decide to do outsourcing, the other positive that comes out of that is you've got to have a conduit of communication between your outsourcing and your firm. And that means you've got to have somebody that's that liaison that's in between. And a lot of times we see that being someone who is a project manager or a communications manager. So those are two other jobs that come along that don't necessarily mean you have to be a CPA, but you can be a very vital part of the talent that we have in our firm. So keep those in mind as you're looking at recruiting and staffing up your firm in a positive way this year. Here's the second really positive thing that I think is happening in our firms today, and that is how we look at employee mental well-being. I think we're finding ways, really in innovative ways, to help people as they are battling the stress and the burnout that is in almost every firm that I've worked with this year. And stress and burnout come from partially the work that we do, partially it's just life. It is just things that we do every day that we have to deal with, the work that we do, the compression that comes along with the work that we do because of the laws that are in place. So what do we do about that? Here's a couple of ideas for you to take a positive spin or to show a positive light in your firm for your employees. How about some proactive rest times? And when I say that, I mean where you are really looking at how do we, first of all, find ways to lower the hours that people are working. How do we make that happen? And that's not just one thing to do. That's a whole bunch of things. So get a group of people together that are really knowledgeable about your firm and let them start figuring it out, because ultimately we want the hours to go down and the profit and the revenue to go up. But we don't necessarily want to hire a whole bunch of more people to do that. But I think there's ways to do that. Now, I also think there are things that we can do in the normal day-to-day work that we do that will help you with this proactive rest. Think about if you could have proactive PTO before high demand work periods. So you know you're going into February 1st, you know it's going to be a horrible time. Really proactively talking to people about taking some rest, taking some time to get ready. Take some rest, take some time with your family before that busy season starts. Maybe it's right before September or October or whatever your busy season is. And it depends on what you do for the firm. So really having your supervisors talk to people about getting some rest up front before that all starts. Maybe it's a no meeting Friday. Lots of firms we talk about and talk to have figured out how to take slices or pieces of the week and change them. So it might be a full Friday. It could be no meeting Tuesday, Thursday, internal meetings. It might be, you know what, we're going to let you stagger your hours, and some of you come in really early and some of you stay late. But it's really taking a proactive approach to how you handle meetings. And then it also might be some learning and some education for your supervisors and your team about what it really means to be burned out and stressed out and what they can do to help themselves. Sometimes it's literally just finding some new education that will help them. So I really want you to think about that proactive rest. I think that it's also a discussion opportunity to work through challenges and difficult topics without a lot of judgment or consequence. So we see that happen in a lot of lunch and learns or times where we have people that get together and talk about the things that are stressing them out, and together as a group that all have the same kind of problem. So let me give you an example. Let's pretend it is a group of people who all have small children, male and female, and they're talking about how do we handle the busy season ahead when there's little kids at home, our wives or our husbands work. How do we handle that? And having people share their best practices can be liberating and can be positive and can be a good thing. So don't let those opportunities go by. All right, let's look at a third positive for this year. I love diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I love the light that was shined on that over the last couple of years. But the real blessing in all of that is we got started. We took a huge step forward as a country, as a world, to try to find ways to make DEI a norm in our firms rather than a project. So this is your year for your norm to even get better. So think about in your own firm, are you dedicating time to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging? If you're not, then that's somewhere that you can start. If you are, congratulations, that's wonderful. Keep up the good work. Do not let one more year go by and let it slip back to the back of the back of the goal list. Keep it on the front side of the goal list. Find ways to implement resources and maybe even some funding for some new activities that you're going to do in your firm. Go to leadership. And leadership, if you're the one listening right now, be the conduit to help give some funding and some resources for getting your DEI up and going well. Really creating strategy around what you're going to do to improve diversity, improve belonging and inclusion. That's going to be a big part of it. And so much of this happens because of communication. Really having someone who will lead the charge, having that be a leader in the firm, Having a group of people that really keep it on the forefront and talk about it all the time. It is a part of your firm that can be super positive, but you got to put the work into it. It can't just happen on its own. All right, let's look at a fourth really positive thing that is happening, and that is confronting the soft skills gap. Somehow, over the last couple of years, we've kind of slipped into a let's just train on the things we have to, because so many of us were working from home. Today, we still have people that are working in a hybrid environment, but training and learning has popped back up to the top as a real positive, wonderful thing in our firms. And a part of that wonderful is really looking at core skills or soft skills and really helping people get that back into their normal training and learning. And when I say that, I think we went back to just really technical training for a while, and we kind of let management training, core skill training like delegation and communication, those kind of slipped to the back of the goals sheet. Now is the time to get it back up on the top. So really finding a way to get that back up on the top of your list is a very positive thing for the year ahead. I would also tell you that really finding a way to expand, and this is my fifth positive for this year, expanding the employee experience into more of an employee value proposition. In other words, really making a statement for how do we effectively communicate all the things that we do as an organization to our employees. Think about the things that you're doing right now, and they are so positive. If you haven't done this before, do this right now. Make a list of all the things that you're doing for your team members. You have innovation that is bubbling up in your company. You are inclusive. You have equity among your people. There is resilience in how you came through the pandemic. There is a connection that is made from leaders to mid-management to brand new people in the firm. There is accountability that is happening both at your leadership level and at your employee level. Make a list, not just of the benefits that you have. Make a list of all the great things that you are doing right now, and then turn that into a value prop that you give to your current team members, as well as all those new people that might be joining your firm. Those are my 5 ideas for how things are going positive this year. I would be remiss if I didn't give you a bonus. So here's your bonus for the day. We are re-examining and re-implementing the HR role within the firm. You know, they are not just those HR people, those employee people that we don't really understand. The HR director in your firm is your strategic leadership partner. And they are the most important people that you have in your firm today, at the hub of almost everything else you do. When you think about your pain points, the hiring, recruiting, finding great benefits, retaining, motivating, all of those things, it comes right back to your HR professional. They have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, but you know what? They are also very strategic in what they're doing, and they have a leadership role that will help every single person in the firm. With that, I will tell you that is my 2023 list of things that I think are really positive that are going on right now. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you have an amazing year ahead.
Thanks so much, Sandra. Listeners, if you enjoyed Sandra's topic, look out for new episodes every Tuesday morning. We like to rotate the topics and themes, but a common theme among all the episodes is we believe that they are critical to your firm's growth and success. So please subscribe, and thanks for listening.